What is the so-called Sacred Valley, and why do Peruvians have a giant UFO landing site? Today I'll answer both of these questions. Meanwhile, we visit the top 5 remains of the ancient Inca Empire, including religious centers, military bases, and as a bonus, I'll also take you to a poncho factory. Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. When it comes to Peru, we always mention Machu Picchu, the Rainbow Mountain, or secluded glacier lakes. However, there's yet another place that most people forget about, even though it holds huge historic significance. And this place is called the Sacred Valley, which stretches from Pisac all the way to Ollantaytambo. So it takes at least a full day, if not two, to visit the whole thing. So let's start our trip with Chinchero, a religious center famous for its traditional ponchos and their number one ingredient, these very cute alpacas. However, back in the day it also fulfilled the role of the region's biggest trading hub, where Peruvians exchanged spices, medicine and precious metals, including gold. When I visited Chinchero, I had the privilege to witness the way locals manufacture clothing with old-school methods, such as coloring the alpaca fur and then weaving it into colorful hats or ponchos. And even though you can buy clothing directly from them, most of their products usually end up in Cusco, where you can purchase handcrafted alpaca gear for a really good price. The marketplace that you see right now is the spot where I bought my very own poncho for about 20 bucks, and in my opinion it was a very good investment because I ended up wearing it every day when I climbed a lot of snowy mountains in the region. But now let's jump back to our trip and visit Maras, which place is a giant salt mine with over 3000 ponds that Peruvians use to produce a special mineral-rich pink salt that they use in many of their recipes. And when I say many, I genuinely mean it, as they even make some salted chocolate. For me personally, Maras was pretty mind-blowing, as the place takes up the side of an entire mountain, and to get here you need to drive on small serpentine-like cliff roads, where people drive with crazy speed, just a couple of inches from the edge. The next two stops in the Sacred Valley are called Moray and Pisac, and I'm introducing them together because they both used to play a very similar role in Inca agriculture. The reason why Peruvians structure them this way was to simulate different climates and to study plant growth on each step. And no, despite its shape, Moray is unfortunately not a giant UFO landing zone, but it certainly looks like one. Instead, it functioned as a research facility, and this was the place where Peruvians could quote-unquote engineer 50 different types of corn, which crop became one of the main staples of their economy. And probably the most interesting one is this purple corn, which is the main ingredient of their traditional drink called chicha morada. And as a fifth and final stop, we have Ollantaytambo, an ancient military fortification that also serves as the primary gateway to Machu Picchu. And the sheer size of this giant structure is a great illustration of how powerful the Inca civilization actually was. The people who built Ollantaytambo also created the largest empire in South America that stretched across the whole continent. To conquer and rule their territory, the Incas practically needed to nail 3 key things. First and foremost, they had to create a kick-ass army to secure the land, and to achieve such a military, fortifications like Ollantaytambo played a crucial role. Then they needed to feed and finance their troops, so they also came up with a sophisticated agriculture that they did in Moray and Pisac. And last but not least, they also needed the help of aliens. Nah, just kidding. The last thing they needed was actually a religious and political system that controls the whole thing. So they established their capital in Cusco to supervise their expansion across the Andes Mountains. This is the main reason why all the top 5 remains of the ancient Inca Empire can be found in such close proximity to Cusco. Put together, these 5 places make up Peru's Sacred Valley, and each of them played a key role in the day-to-day life of this very powerful civilization. And since the Incas were so advanced, they were able to create literal sky cities, like Machu Picchu, that I will show you in my very next video. So not to miss it, make sure you hit subscribe. If you enjoyed today's trip around the Sacred Valley, You can also click on this card and watch my previous upload, where I compared two other gorgeous Peruvian places, the Rainbow Mountain and Lake Umantai. Thank you for sticking around all the way, and I'll see you in the next one.